2013 Audemars Piguet QE2 Cup brings together thoroughbreds trained in Japan, the United Arab Emirates and South Africa to challenge Hong Kong's best middle distance gallopers. Rulership blew his opposition away when winning the 2012 renewal. This year, Aishan Flash is every bit as well credentialed to give Japan their fourth QE2 Cup. Hong Kong regular Mike de Kock has Treasure Beach running after competing last year for Aidan O'Brien, and star mare Igugu, who wasn't at her best in Dubai. Said bin Saror had Sajjar running superbly on the Meydan turf earlier this year, in the process scoring 2 Group 1s. Ambitious Dragon will lead Hong Kong, with trainer Tony Millard aiming up to win his second QE2. While Richard Gibson is shooting for an ambitious Derby QE2 double with Akid Mofid. The brothers Cruz will present 4 runners. Tony, the recently acquired Zaidan, alongside established stable star and dual Hong Kong Cup hero California Memory. While Derek will saddle up Crackerjack and Wrath of Fire in the hope of upsetting some more illustrious names. Casper Fownes has brought Thumbs Up back to good health to try to win a race that he has run 3rd and 2nd in previously. Group 1 racing wouldn't be the same in Hong Kong without John Moore holding a hand of chances, this time with Ashgear, Irian and the Flying Military Attack. An attack it will be, from all horses that are targeted to win the Group 1 Audemars Piguet QE2 Cup.
Yes, Hong Kong taking on the rest of the world this Sunday in the Group 1 Audemars Piguet QE2 Cup. Hello everyone and welcome to Racing360, where we preview one of the most important races on the Hong Kong calendar for the season. Darren Flindell, 14 runners to go to the post on Sunday for a share of Hong Kong $14 million in prize money. We've got a very interesting mix of horses lining up this year.
It certainly is. Like looking from the foreign point of view, we've got 2 wonderful mares here, and Igugu, who took all before as a 3-year-old in South Africa. She had a year off and had 3 runs in Dubai. She probably needs to improve a little bit. Interesting that Anthony Del Peche is now taking the ride. Christophe Soumillon can't make the trip. And then we've got Sajjar that made it 4 straight in Dubai. And I really thought that Sajjar might be the one to beat. Aishan Flash, unfortunately, didn't come up with a good gate, but that performance of Rulership last year, that blew me away. I haven't seen a performance more impressive than Rulership last year.
Oh, it was an awesome performance, wasn't it, Brett?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Rulership, of course, performed on a firmer type track, and the weather's certainly going to play its part, I think, on the weekend. A lot of rain is predicted. I think you need to take that into consideration when you're doing the form. Who will handle it, who has handled it in the past, and who won't handle it, I think, is even another question you need to ask. Ambitious Dragon's never touched a wet track, and neither has Aishan Flash as well. So the weather will play its part for me in the QE2 on Sunday.
Clint, at track work in the lead-up, you've had to peer through the mist to catch a glimpse of the horses?
Yeah, look, you know, the locals have all worked pretty well, I think, leading into it. I think, understand Tony Millard's very happy with Ambitious Dragon. And more importantly, I mean, from the foreign raiders anyway, I think, you know, all of those runners have really arrived in fine fettle. So that bodes well. And, you know, we have forecast to rain for the day, but let's hope that conditions are good and everyone brings their A game and we see who's the best on the day.
Deservedly carrying saddlecloth #1 in Sunday's feature event here in Hong Kong is the reigning Hong Kong Horse of the Year, Ambitious Dragon, with Zach Purton up from gate 6. California Memory representing the Tony Cruz team with Matt Chadwick aboard. Aishan Flash for Japan. We've got Akid Mofid taking on the older horses for the first time at this level.
And Joe, I believe there's a story with the draw for Akid Mofid coming up with gate 4.
The owner was particularly determined to draw gate 4. His Feng Shui expert suggesting that was the gate they needed to draw in order to win, and he will explain later took some very interesting luck charms to the barrier draw, and they paid off.
Certainly did. Well, he's a very interesting runner, Akid Mofid, and we'll be profiling him as the show goes on. And we'll learn a lot more about the strength of this year's Derby, but it looks as though he's come on since then.
Yeah, he trialled very well recently, and his track work this week has been nothing short of outstanding. A lot of horses have been going through their paces well in the lead-up, Clint.
They have, and well, let's take a look at how I think the race will be run. This is the speed map I've compiled, and the prices will come up shortly. But, you know, I mean, Treasure Beach went forward last year, obviously drawn high. He might be 3 wide early. I think they'll probably press on, but I thought Igugu and Sajjar both press on. And critically, Military Attack and Akeem Feed have drawn gates 3 and 4 respectively, should box seat and be 1 out, 1 back. The rest of them, I think that a lot of them get back. Wrath of Fire, Ambitious Dragon, Thumbs Up, Zaidan. I think Ashkir will probably be midfield. But it's a race that potentially really lacked much speed, Joe, until those internationals drew high. And I think the 2 mares might go forward and be joined by Treasure Beach. As a result, I've got Military Attack, a slight favourite in my prices, just ahead of Akeem Feed and Ambitious Dragon. I've got California Memory all the way up to $9, because I didn't think his prep had been ideal going. Did a little bit of a cloud over him, but certainly looks an open race. I mean, there's no standout in this one, but as far as the barriers and the track map's concerned, it's a big plus for Military Attack and Akeem Feed.
The international horses have been much the focus at track work this week, having an important look around Sha Tin. The best gallop on the turf for the week came from the Japanese horse.
Certainly in terms of time clock, 21.9, and did it with relative ease as well. Asian Flash, I should say. So nice piece of work. The Japanese arrive here year in, year out very well indeed. It's not a long journey for them, and I'd say that horse also looks particularly well. Treasure Beach, well, I mean, couldn't really falter this horse in his track work. I think he arrived in probably a similar manner to what he did last year, but obviously wasn't good enough there, and the barrier won't help his cause. Now, here's Sanja, obviously, a multiple Group 1 winner she is, and they interestingly haven't really put any hard or fast work together with her. Obviously feel that she's fit enough coming here, so that usually bodes well, and she does look in good order. Agugu did a little bit of work on the course prop. I thought this was good, solid work, and I did see one race where she went forward, and she can be a bit keen sometimes in her races, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did that there on the weekend, and she too seems to arrive very well.
Yeah, notably the South African horses haven't done much at all since they've hit Hong Kong, and Mike de Kock saying that they did all their serious work before they left to come here. Godolphin, now their colours unfortunately have been lowered globally due to the Al Zaruni controversy. He recently handed an 8-year ban as a trainer for drug use with horses. Can the Godolphin colours be raised again in a positive way by Saja in the race on Sunday?
Absolutely. I mean, the best horses in the world go to Dubai, and Saja was able to admittedly box seat here, take the run, but she's blown these away, making it 4 straight there on this occasion. Now, Sylvester de Souza we'll see in Hong Kong. In some respects, it won't be the same not having Frankie Dettori here in the colours. But Sylvester's a great young rider, and if there is soft going there tomorrow, looking to the form, that won't be an issue for Saja. Hasn't done much. I was at track work this morning. She did nothing, and I think that was the case yesterday as well.
Yeah, it was. I think the interesting thing with her is that she was lightly raced in her 2 previous seasons, but this season she's really blossomed, and that's been evident obviously with her 2 Group 1s in Dubai, and I think she's going to be very hard to beat, particularly if it is wet, which is a distinct possibility.
Despite all the controversy for Godolphin, the head trainer Sayed bin Sarur has been holding his head very high in Hong Kong this week.
Really very good. I mean, this filly, she's getting older. She become really tough, and she traveled really very well since she came here. She looked really in good form and good condition, and she trained really nicely. There is no problem at all with her. She's ready now to run in the big race, but, we're looking to see like a good base in the race as also it will suit her as mile and a quarter race.
She really developed her form in Dubai, and she showed a really good sprint at the end of her 1800 metre races particularly. Do you think she's going to be able to hold that form here?
Yeah, she ran in the mile and 9 furlongs. The 1 furlong straight, I think that's no problem for her. It depends how fast they go, but if they go a nice piece in the race, last 2 furlongs, I think she can do it, no problem.
Saja, a horse that's improved each day since she's arrived in Hong Kong. 2 horses that haven't been doing too much at the track during the week, but will be on song come Sunday, are the Mike de Kock trained gallopers Treasure Beach and the champion mare Agugu.
We're very happy with them. They're seasoned travellers. Treasure Beach has done a lot of travelling around the world, and Agugu's done a fair amount, so they're used to it, and they're pretty settled in.
Agugu in Dubai, things didn't really seem to work out for her. How has she sort of come through that period?
Yeah, she had a couple of setbacks in quarantine leading up to Dubai, and we were always on the back foot. And once you start on the back foot, it's hard to sort of get going. She got going late, and she's on the up, which is a help. So she comes here as still quite a fresh horse.
So what's your sense with regards to how she's going to run and perform?
Well, obviously we're hoping that, but I think she's got a 10 draw, which is not ideal, but you know, someone's got to be from there, and I think she's going to be, if she brings her best foot forward, she's there.
Gugu looking for her first win since the J&B Met of 2012. She looked like she improved during her Dubai campaign.
Well, she had to, and I think she did that with each run. She progressively got better. Although Sumion's not riding her on Sunday, I think it's still great to have Anthony Del Pesce here, of course, who won the QE2 Cup with Vengeance of Rain many years ago. But Anthony Del Pesce has pretty much been the regular rider of her throughout her campaign, so he knows her well.
Treasure Beach, I think he's obviously a talented horse, but he hasn't won for a long time either. And his recent form has been solid, but he hasn't been able to find the line first for a long time. So I think with the combined barrier draw for Treasure Beach, he's up against it in this field.
Well, Japan tasted success in this race last year with rulership. It was a powerful performance. This year they'll be represented by the Tenno Show Autumn winner, Asian Flash.
Now, Brett's touched on the likelihood of rain on the weekend. Now, that's my little concern here, coupled with the fact that he's drawn out in gate number 13. But look at this explosive finish. It's a little bit like the rulership performance in last year's QE2 Cup. Quite amazingly, in a 12-month cycle of racing in Japan, this horse has never been on a track worse than firm. So that's something to think about on Sunday if the weather goes the way the forecasters say it will.
We know what the Japanese are like. They go everywhere in the world and generally win or go very close to it, don't they? So we've got to give them a lot of respect. The gate, a little concern. Wet conditions, another concern. But the horse has got the capabilities of winning this race, no doubt. And
JRA form expert Nahiro Goda thinks the horse has all the ability in the world to beat the rest of the world on Sunday.
Another trainer, Mr. Nakauchida, is supervising his training. When I talked to Mr. Nakauchida on Thursday morning, he is very happy. He is, 100% satisfied with the condition of the Asian Flash so far, Thursday morning.
Last year we saw rulership absolutely bolt up in this race. This horse, Asian Flash, has beaten rulership before and was very good in winning the Tenno Show. Can you compare the two horses in any way in terms of their overall abilities and sort of how they race?
Well, this is a very good question. In my opinion, Asian Flash is as good as rulership. I think they are different type of the runners. Rulership has better turn of foot, acceleration. But Asian Flash is more consistent. He can run his race regardless the pace of the pace of the race, regardless of the track condition. Asian Flash is more consistent, and he is now in top form. So I think he can repeat the performance by rulership last year on Sunday.
Of the international runners, Clint, Asian Flash looks to have settled in the best to Hong Kong and had an all-important look at what is a rather daunting parade ring here in Hong Kong at Sha Tin, and looked like he handled the surrounds very well.
He does. He appears to have arrived very well. They'd also took him down and put him through the stalls, I believe, at the top of the straight there this morning. But the Japanese are well versed in bringing them here, and generally, they come and perform, and I don't think there'll be any exceptions with Asian Flash.
He looks the best of the international contenders this year, doesn't he?
I think the mental attitude of Saja has been questioned a little bit by people watching her track work this morning, but I think it's worth noting the Dubai Duty Free is run after they had that massive fireworks display there in Dubai. So if she got through that okay in Dubai, perhaps she's just a little bit spooky. I don't think that's an issue for her, but yeah, Asian Flash has settled in well.
Certainly has. The Japanese generally settle in well here, and as you said, Joe, they went and had a look at the paddock. They have a very similar routine when they come here. They do their work the way they like to do it. They give the horse every opportunity to get comfortable, and Asian Flash is no exception.
It's a race that has a star-studded honour roll, isn't it?
Oh, some of the greats, and can Akid Mafid be the third horse to win the Derby and come out and win the QE2 Cup? That'll be answered. But yeah, we've had some greats there. Vengeance of Rain and Gin and Tonic well, back in 1999 now with a very young Gerard Mosse. He's actually the fastest winner ever of the QE2.
What's your favourite QE2 Cup winner, Brett?
Well, I've seen quite a few of them now, Joe, but I think, as Darren touched on there, Gym and Tonic, I can actually remember sort of my first images of Hong Kong racing around the time when Gym and Tonic was racing, and I thought he was something special, so I'd have to side with him narrowly.
Clint, your highlight of the past winners?
There's so many of them. I think when Viva Bataka probably won his second, I think they were about 3 years apart. That was a pretty enormous effort, really, and he just showed what a war horse he was.
Darren, you will be in the hot seat, of course, on Sunday, calling the race.
Yeah, and I've been busy
You've also been busy in the lead up to Sunday.
Yeah, well, this is the point here. We're matching all the champions together, the previous winners, and, well, the computer simulators sorted all this out.
Okay, well, let's have a look at this outcome of the simulated QE2 Cup involving 12 past winners.
And we're ready now for the QE2 Cup, the King of Kings over the 2,000 metres, and they're off and racing. And Iridescence got it off to a great start on the inside. She's being hard ridden out of the gates by Wei Shun Ma Wing with Rulership and Industrialist stoked up the outside, and the pace is genuine in the first furlong of the race. Vengeance of Rain settles down fourth on the inside of Archipenko, then Ishan Preston deeper out. Then they're queued up behind from Gym and Tonic, Ambitious Dragon, River Dancer, Viva Bataka, and Silvano's very deep as they turn out of the straight. Iridescence is looking to switch off here at the mile. It's Iridescence just in front of Rulership, and Industrialist continues to forge up in a three-wide position. A couple further back to Vengeance of Rain. Delpesh giving the Derby winner a nice run in front of the South African Archipenko in fifth. Three quarters the outside to the Japanese runner Ishan Preston. And now Fukunaga taking a hold on Ishan Preston, and he's trying to drop in and get some cover behind Archipenko as the pace just slackens a bit down the back. They're followed by Presvis, together with Ambitious Dragon, Viva Bataka. He might even be 3D, Viva Bataka, and Canane just allows him to stride that little bit closer. Gym and Tonic back on the fence. Further back to a River Dancer, and Silvano has now been taken back to the tail of the field. Alan Munro ups the tempo now as they lead the back, and Industrialist races up on the outside of Iridescence, and Industrialist goes for home, draws a length clear. Rulership being patiently ridden by Responsibly going to third. Tucked in on the inside as they travel to the turn. Vengeance of Rain sweating on a run. Clear from Archipenko, then Ishan Flash. Ambitious Dragon and Viva Bataka's pulling to the outside as they straighten up. And Industrialist is the leader. Vengeance of Rain pops off the fence going underneath him. The fillies run a race. Iridescence clear from Rulership. Then came Archipenko, and Viva Bataka's too far back, but away goes Vengeance of Rain, and Delpesh races him away inside the 100 metres from Industrialist, Viva Bataka, and then Iridescence battling away. But here's Vengeance of Rain, one of the greats of Hong Kong racing. He's roaring away, and Vengeance of Rain beats Viva Bataka and Industrialist. Ambitious Dragon battled on him before, followed by Presvis, Silvano, Archipenko, then Iridescence from Gym and Tonic, Ishan Preston, River Dancer, and Rulership weakened to finish last.